Welcome back to the program. It's my pleasure to be joined by former one-on-one sports host Christopher Bunn. Christopher, always a pleasure to see you. And college basketball resident expert Adam Constantine. Adam, it's always a pleasure.
Pleasure to be here.
Previewing the college basketball season, let's start with the top 25. Who is your most overrated team in the poll?
Has to be North Carolina. How in the world you can start them at number 4 for this season is unbelievable. They lost 80% of their starting lineup, 4 guys to the NBA. Usually a team like that doesn't really start the polls in the top 5.
And out of those 80%, it was 75% of their offense. Any other team isn't in the top 25, but they're number 4, not even top 10, top 5, number 4 in the country. Out of all, you're telling me, out of all the teams picked, you couldn't find 4 more teams better than North Carolina right now. Most of their players that they're going to have to rely on this year haven't played a collegiate game until this year. So you can't put a team just because the name is Roy Williams and the school's name is the University of North Carolina. It's ridiculous.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Who's going to score for them when they absolutely need it? You know, 2 seconds left. Who's getting the ball? Will Graves? Marcus Ginyard? I mean, that's just not a good team.
We don't know.
We don't.
So you can't put them at number 4 when there are so many questions surrounding a team.
No.
I agree. Most underrated team in the top 25.
I'm going with Oklahoma. You know, they lost Blake Griffin, number 1 pick. You know, they're still kind of in the top 20, but this is a team led by Jeff Capel, who's a great head coach. And they have Tommy Mason Griffin, who might be the best point guard in the Big 12, aside that's not named Sharon Collins. And they moved Willie Warren over to the 2 to play a Tyreek Evans kind of role. And now they got this big fella, Keith Tiny Gallen. Guy's 6'9", 320, huge guy. They call him Tiny, but he's going to be an absolute beast in the post for Oklahoma.
The reason why I'm not really going to answer this question is because I'm picking Wake Forest, who's not even in the top 25. How do you not? I mean, they were a number 4 seed in the tournament last year. Now, granted, they did lose in that round, but I mean, that's the tournament. Anything happens. I mean, if you're going to have North Carolina at number 4, then Wake Forest has to be in there sometimes. They definitely did not lose as much offensive power. Aminu is back. Ishmael Smith is at the point guard position. He is going to be able to lead that team with experience. I mean, those are 2 key things that you need in a strong ACC conference.
Now, they did lose James Johnson and Jeff Teague, who are great scorers and great players. But, you know, I like Wake Forest. They have Tony Woods. They got Ty Walker coming off the bench that now will step into starting roles. Al-Farouq Amino might be the best 3 in the conference, unless you don't count Kyle Singleton as a 4. That's a whole other argument. I mean, Wake Forest is a very good team. I like that.
I like it too. It was surprising that Dino Gaudio's club was picked by the media to finish 6th.
Yeah.
I see them finishing a lot higher. Player of the year. I know it's early, but can you give me a name?
It's early and it's wide open because, you know, there really aren't any clear-cut hard hitters this year. I'm going to go with Luke Herringody, though. I mean, he's a senior. He's from Notre Dame. He's put in his time there. He's put in his work. I mean, he is just a bruiser. He is going to work hard every single night and get those gutter points that Tyler Hansborough used to get that he was heralded for getting. I mean, that's what he does. I think if you don't have Tyler Hansborough, he's looked at a lot more just because of his numbers. I mean, 20 and 12 on a consistent basis is what you'll get from him.
I'll put it this way. Luke Herringody might not even be first-team Big East. You know, they got Greg Monroe and they got Samardo Samuels in that conference. Luke Herringody, he's always been hyped up. Oh, he's a great player. He can do all this. He can shoot. He can board. Whatever. I want to see some production out of this kid. I want to see him lead his team somewhere, okay? You know, my player of the year is going to be a freshman, John Wall. Let me tell you about this kid. Number 1 pick in the draft next year. I guarantee it. He's going to revolutionize the point guard spot. He's 6'4", can handle the ball like no one else in the entire country. He can't shoot very well, but like that's something he can learn in his 1 year in college.
And okay, so what you said is stuff that he's going to do. What did he do last year? We don't know. He was in high school. You can't pick somebody to be the number 1 in all of college right now when he hasn't done anything.
I'll tell you what he did last
year.
Now, he hasn't done anything in college, but he dominated every single all-star game he played in. He was the cream of the crop. There was a reason teams like Duke, North Carolina, Memphis for a while that changed into Kentucky. There's a reason these teams win after him.
But they don't win the National Player of the Year. I mean, Herringody has played countless collegiate games against the that is one out of the countless years that they've had. I mean, the point is that you're not going to have this point guard come in that can't shoot. I mean, you have to be able to shoot if you're going to be a point guard player of the year. I mean, to average 30 points, you can't just drive and dunk all the time. I mean, I hate to say it, but these guys are a lot bigger than they were in high school.
He is Darren Williams without the jump shot.
Which means he won't
possibly
be the player of the year.
Possibly faster.
So he won't be the player of the year.
No, right now he is as good as Darren Williams.
But he won't be player of the year.
Disagree.
Moving on, we will. Surprise team to watch that's not in the top 25.
Well, I'm going to take Louisville. You know, they're right at the edge. They're 23. You know, they're not necessarily not in the top 25, but this is a team you have to watch. You know, all the baggage going on with Rick Pitino and the whole marriage affair, and you don't really know what's going on behind the scenes with him. You know, but this is also a team that lost 2 draft picks. They lost Earl Clark and Terrence Williams, and they returned they returned Edgar Sosa at the point guard position, who's an electrifying player, and they bring in Peyton Siva, who is probably Edgar Sosa Jr. Great player. Not to mention Samardo Samuels, who I alluded to earlier, might be one of the best post players in the Big East.
I'm going to pick a team that is in the top 25, top 5 as a matter of fact, and that is Kentucky. And you want to talk about baggage. Calipari brings all of his luggage to the table because of all the scrutiny that he was under in Memphis and all the violations that they had over there. And now, you know, the fact that Kentucky brought him for one reason, to win championships. And they're in a very precarious position. There's already some whispers that maybe some stuff went down with the no-jumper John Wall. I mean, you know, there are certain things that you just don't know yet. And for him to, I mean, he was brought in for instant wins. That's what he's brought in. Right. He's not here to win in the next 6-7 years. They want to win. Now. They want Final Four now. That is what they want. So I think they are in a very precarious position, and they're going to be very scrutinized this year.
Kentucky's a win-at-all-cost program,
Absolutely.
and that's something you have to monitor because you really don't know what's going on behind the scenes there. You know, it could be cash. I mean, you really don't know with John Calipari. 2 Final Fours vacated. What's he going to do next? See a championship vacated.
Gentlemen, always a pleasure having you on the show. It's going to be an exciting season no matter what. When we come back, stay tuned because Robert Warner will be joining me in the Hot Corner. We'll be back.